Hola, bon dia. Carl Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show from expatsportugal.com. How are you this morning? Are you whistling that theme tune yet? Fantastic. It is. It would normally be Feel Good Friday, okay, but I've kind of changed that, modified that a bit to Feel Better Friday. We are, of course, talking about what can happen in the case of a sudden bereavement here in Portugal when you're an expat. And my guest this morning, I'll bring him onto the screen now. We have Debs, who is launching with us this morning, Share and Care Portugal, and colleague Terry is here as well. Debs' colleague Terry, who's part of the team there at Share and Care Portugal. Debs, how are you this morning?
I feel great. I feel really determined. I'm happy, and I'm at peace to do this.
Great, excellent. That's a great place to be because you have faced a very difficult couple of years, and this is the culmination, really, isn't it? And I saw on your Facebook page this morning of the new group that is being launched here on the show. I think this morning, Share and Care Portugal. You said, today I wish to dedicate the launch of Share and Care Portugal to my husband, Michael. If it wasn't for his sudden and untimely death, this organisation wouldn't exist today. With my experience and determination, I hope this group will become a success and help a lot of people who need this service. And you signed that off, Debs. It is an amazing moment, and I think you will be helping a lot of people, Debs, and people will be able to see you speaking in depth about your pretty awful experience, basically, here in Portugal. And as we've said there, today is the culmination of how you've transformed that into a helpful service for people who might, unfortunately, find themselves in the same sort of situation. So would you like to say a bit more about I don't want to put you through, anything difficult or harrowing this morning, but if you'd like to talk about how this came about and the future for the organisation and for you.
Sure. A year and a half ago, I lost my husband, Michael. He died suddenly at the age of 55. And obviously, it was a very big shock, and I had to go through the various stages of grieving. At times, it was very, very difficult for me. And I was mostly on my own trying to deal with this. So I think I reached a stage just before Christmas this year when this idea came into my head to start an organisation to help other people out there who lose somebody, a loved one, a mother, father, sister, brother, a friend even, and ways of coping and ways of dealing with it. And knowing that there's somebody at the end of the telephone that understands completely what they're going through with their experience, with their experience of doing it themselves. So I think that's the best medicine sometimes, because it's nice to sit with somebody or to talk to somebody who truly, truly understands exactly how you're feeling.
Yep.
And I put together an organisation, and we're going to give out lots of information on protocols with regards to how things work in Portugal. I can assure you it's nothing like the UK. And obviously it's going to be advice, support. And if people need some added extra with regards to coping with the grief they're going through, we have a team on board now who will help them go through the various stages, which I think is absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, me too. Congratulations on getting this far with it and from turning, a bad thing good, basically. And there on the screen is the Facebook group that you've launched. And we have Terry waiting in the wings, of course, who is part of that team you've talked about. Terry, I'm not sure your microphone is connected at the moment, but I know you've got a tech team working with you, so that's good. Hopefully they'll be able to sort out your microphone connection, because we'd like to talk to you as well. So you how will this work, Debs? You're based in central Portugal, aren't you? So it won't necessarily be face-to-face, and obviously at the moment it can't be. How will it work physically for people should they find themselves in this awful position?
Well, obviously we have an email address now, and I've set up a Facebook page, and obviously there is a referred telephone number as well that people can contact us on.
Yeah. Okay, and perhaps we can give all of those details out if you can put them in the comments, or somebody from the team can put those in the comments, or subsequently we can do that as well on the YouTube video. Let's see. Oh no, I think Terry's still working on it with his technical team there, so I won't bring him on screen just yet. Well, so yeah, it's been quite a journey, hasn't it? We have some comments coming in. Peter Bleach, Debs, how brave and wonderful you were with Donna Jacqueline last time. This referring, of course, to the longer interview we did, where you both spoke of your really difficult experiences that nobody really wants to have to think about, do they? Ahead of time, it's the last thing you're thinking when you're starting your dream life in the new country. You're providing a brilliant service, says Pete. Thank you very much for that. And we'll come back to your hellos, everybody, in a little while, a little bit later on in the show. But yeah, so we've got the most sort of emergency level of service available for people now, which wasn't available
Yeah.
for you, was it, at the
No,
time?
not at all. Not at all. I felt quite isolated, quite alone. To be honest with you, Carl, when something like this happens to you, your emotions are all over the place. I mean, there
Yeah,
was a point where I really didn't want to be here
yeah,
without Michael, and my life was just upside down. And I got through that.
yeah,
And as I say, I'm very, very strong now. I'm very, very determined. And I just think it's such a necessary service, especially with regards to not understanding the Portuguese language, like some of us are not quite au fait with. But to have an English speaking person available to talk to
yeah.
must must be wonderful, because I just wish there was somebody there for me at the time,
Hmm.
and maybe that would help me progress a little bit through that grieving cycle
Yeah,
and see some light at the end of the tunnel. I think I had to find my own way to the light, but I did it, and
yeah,
that's what's important. And at the end of the day, I'm here to tell the tale.
yeah. Yeah, it's amazing what you're doing. Great initiative. Well done, says Terry Hamill. Good morning to you, Terry. Let's go to the other Terry now, because you mentioned the folks who are part of the team here. Here's one of them, Tertius, or Terry to us. Good morning to you, Terry. Have we got a microphone connection with you? I'm going to need you to unmute yourself at your end. It's great. We can see a friendly face if we can't hear a friendly voice. And I mean, would you like to, whilst Terry's sorting that out, would you like to tell us about the team and who people might be dealing with, Debs?
Yeah, we have a lady called Felicia. Um, she's very well versed in psychology and cognitive therapy, and she's had many years of experience. And Terry himself, well, his curriculum is so huge, it's unbelievable
Here he
with
is.
regard to his qualifications. He's amazing.
Yeah.
And the fact that we have a man and a woman is good,
Yes.
because not everybody for instance, if a man was grieving, he probably wanted to speak to another man that would understand.
Yeah.
And similar with regards to a woman, I don't know. Well, the choice is there,
Hmm.
and obviously it's up to me to sort it out.
Yes.
But we also have three other ladies, four, including myself, that have actually been through losing a loved one,
My goodness.
and
Okay.
they're pretty experienced. And
Mm.
as I say, these deaths occurred in Portugal, so
Yeah.
they have their stories to tell, but they feel strong enough now that they're able to help other people. And I am so grateful that they decided to come and help me.
Yeah.
Um, it's not easy running an organisation single-handedly, but
Mm.
obviously the other side of this organisation, which you well know, Carl, is the fact that, we do come into difficulties with the authorities. We do come into difficulties with the police. And I think whilst all the referrals possibly will go out to my team, I want to concentrate, obviously, on the lobbying of Parliament and trying to get heard.
Yes.
And I just want to collect a dossier. I hope it's not big, but a dossier where people felt that things could have been handled a little bit differently, with a bit more empathy, a bit more compassion, or whatever.
Yeah.
And I want to tell their story. And I think the best person to tell the story to is the very man that runs the country.
Okay. So you hope to be speaking to Mr. Costa in due course about what could
I
be done,
do. I
or the
do.
people. Yeah. Okay.
I do. But I also think as well, in the past, I used to be a trainer, and I used to train people in various subject matters. But I think maybe, I don't know what their budget is for the police here, but maybe they could perhaps do a little bit of bereavement training.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe I could set it up for them. I don't know. But
Who
a
knows?
bereavement training where they sort of sit on the other side of the fence and kind of, understand a bit better
Yeah.
how one would be feeling,
Yes, indeed.
and sort of apply it to the very nature of the job if they come across this.
Yes. Yeah. A beautiful service you're providing. So lovely, says Joseph Marsh over there in Fundale, not a million miles away from you. And I understand what you're saying there, Debs, because I think both your experience and Jacqueline's when we spoke on the video, which is on our, it's an interesting conversation. It's an amazing conversation. And both of you are absolutely, given what you've been through, you're so sort of giving and helpful to explain to people what goes on. But one of the things that stays in my mind is, how these strapping coppers turn up with their sidearms, which you're not used to, and they're in your house in numbers, aren't they? And you get this sense that you are a suspect as well, which of course, I understand the process. They do have to rule that out, but
Yeah.
there are levels of sensitivity around that, aren't there?
I,
So I
I,
think that's the thing
I
you're talking about.
Well, I think so, because obviously I was going through quite a lot at the time, regardless.
Mm,
But that was like an additional stress,
mm.
an additional worry,
Yeah.
and obviously it caused a wee bit of anxiety.
Yes.
So, and having to sort of wait 48 hours, I was pacing. I just couldn't
Anyway,
settle again. Yeah, it felt, the feelings I felt at the time when that happened was very much like the feelings I felt um, when I got home from hospital after seeing Michael pass away. It was that restlessness. That's how I felt. It kind of brought it back to me a little bit.
yeah.
Um, but grabbed the bull by the horns, and we sorted it.
Yes.
And if I'd have known what I know now with regards to that interview, the way it came across in the initial beginning of them visiting me, I thought, oh my God, what's going on? But if I'd have known it was going to be an informal interview before I went there, I think I'd have probably been a bit more at ease,
Yes.
and not as nervous.
Yes. Yeah. Well, what a process to have gone through, Debs, and thanks again on behalf of everybody, here, the expat community, for making something good out of something so bad, and creating a supportive service. The other side of it, of course, is the cultural difference, because that's what we're talking about here, isn't it? Is cultural differences, is in how the funeral process works, because that comes as quite a shock to people as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's slightly different,
Yeah.
but it's understandable why it's different,
Yes. Yes. Of
because
course.
it amounts to cost. It amounts to being in the sunshine as well.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of things that people don't realize.
Yeah.
And I think, part of this Facebook page is where somebody could click on and go to the files and check out exactly how things work,
Yeah.
which I think would help them. And as I say, if they need somebody to talk to, they
Yeah.
can talk to us as well.
Yeah.
We're always there for people. But I think knowledge is power. And,
Indeed.
when you come to a foreign country, you have to learn as much as you possibly can.
Yeah.
You have to. You can't sit back and be complacent.
Yes.
So it's going to be informative as well.
Great. And there's the link to your Facebook page group there, Sharing Care Portugal, which you're launching today officially with us.
Yeah, on
And
your show.
we're trying to get Terry, the resident psychologist of the project. We're definitely getting an experience of his friendly face, but we need to hear his friendly voice as well. So are you there, Terry? Can we hear you? Can you switch your mic on for us? Because I'm not able to do it from this end. It's telling me, can't unmute your guest. Their mic isn't connected.
Oh,
Let's see if your tech team can unbridle your vocals for us there, Terry. I'm not sure if that is happening. What you need to do, Terry, is switch on your mic inputs to your device at the other end there, if you will, and we'll come back to you and we'll try you one more time. Bless you, says Dedy. I have so much admiration for people who, out of their own despair, decide to support others so they don't have to go through what you did. I mean, that pretty much sums it up, doesn't it? From one
yeah.
Deborah to another there. Yeah.
Yeah.
such an amazing service, so hard at the best of times in a different country. It can make it so much harder, says Penny. Good morning to you, Penny. And Ree says, over in the States, planning to come to Portugal. Good morning. Thank you so much for sharing. We'll be joining the group. So I think it may be, that you've got other people who can come and be a resource to the group as well. Because I'm guessing it's all in the name, isn't it? Sharing and caring. You'll be open to other people coming with their unique angle and expertise.
Yeah, it's not just for expats, it's for everybody.
Oh, okay. And Carmen, our guest from the Azores yesterday, what a specialised and powerful resource you'll be providing to our community. Thank you, says Carmen over there in the Azores. I don't think we will try Terry one more time, see if we can get him speaking to us. Are you there, Terry?
He's waving, bless him.
Morning, but we can't hear your voice, unfortunately, Terry. But as you said before, there, Debs, really, I had a brief chat with Terry the other day, and he's got an amazing background, doesn't he? Obviously, all the qualifications you could want, but like frontline experience of dealing with people in very difficult situations, and the kind of post-traumatic counselling in all sorts of areas of life in the United States. So quite a great expertise you've got on hand there. And we are blighted by technical difficulties. We've got Deb. Oh, she's back again now. Sorry, Deb, you froze there for a moment. Oh dear. Okay, Susan saying, what an amazing thing to do. Bless you and your team. Thank you, says Susan. And Peter saying as well, Peter Bleach, it sounds like a much needed service, especially for those whose Portuguese isn't great. Absolutely, nail on the head there, Pete. Di's nephew's friend had to drive their departed spouse all the way back to the UK. Yikes, harder with COVID. So yeah, obviously some awful things can occur just anywhere in the run of things with grief and bereavement, and then you've got these added dimensions of the pandemic, and also not speaking the language, being in a different culture. Share and Care Portugal is there to help you. Debs, are you back now? Can you add anything?
I'm here. Yeah, I haven't gone away. Yeah.
We were struggling to hear you, and your connection seems a bit tricky this morning for us. So I don't know. We let's see. It's refreshed again there, Debs. Can we hear you now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, perfect. You are back and connected as you were before. That's fantastic. Okay, so any kind of other help you need? That's the thing, isn't it? Like you said, you can't do these things single-handed. This is a community effort. What are you missing at the moment that the community might be able to help you with?
Well, obviously, I'd appreciate somebody helping me with a website, because then it's another avenue to explore. I haven't actually set a website up before, and obviously there's initial costs involved with that. If we can get a free one, all the better. What you have to appreciate here is everybody that is involved with Share and Care, they are voluntary workers. They don't get paid. They give their time freely because I genuinely believe they want to help and they believe in what I'm doing. So if we could raise funds for the administration costs for Share and Care, that'd be great. But I'm fine. I'm coping with it all. I've set it all up, and we're good to go today.
It sounds like you're going to do it regardless. I don't think that's a big ask, frankly. It's getting a website together. There may be somebody listening now or later on YouTube who says, that's easy. I can do that for you. So hopefully they will come to your aid in that respect. Anything else?
Fingers crossed. Tomorrow I'm actually appearing in the Portuguese news.
Oh, really?
They approached me and they wanted to tell my story, and they are obviously speaking about Share and Care now. So it will be, it's truly official today on your show, but the circulation apparently of the newspaper is 100,000. So
which one are we looking for tomorrow? Which paper could we buy to see that?
The Portugal news.
Okay. Oh, okay. Brilliant. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Good. So that'll be online and in their print version as well. Well, that's really good. That will raise awareness, won't it, and get the word out there. That's fantastic.
Yeah, certainly. I'm looking at other avenues as well. Perhaps getting Share and Care in the tourist information as a service. So the first thing people do really when they're a bit stuck, if they don't know anybody, they'll go to the tourist information. So I want to provide posters or some kind of format that
Yeah.
the service is available. I
Yes.
think people need to know it's here, and obviously that's a marketing strategy as well, with a
Yeah.
cost, of course. But you know, we're new. You know, it'll all flow. It'll all happen, as
I
I'll
think you're
make
right.
sure it does.
There's so much
I think you
love
know
and
me by now, Carl.
I do,
You know that I'm a
absolutely.
really, really determined lady, and as I say, um, it'll all come together nicely. I know it will.
Of course it will. Colleague Jerry here from Expats Portugal. Good morning, Debs. Good morning, all as well. I'd like to have a chat with you to see how we can help to promote the service via our website. How do I contact you? I'll put you both in touch. That's a fantastic
Oh,
offer. Thank you,
thank
Jerry,
you.
for that. And Gary Austin saying, ask Ginny Austin about websites for some advice about websites. So I think that's probably a tag there as well to go through
Oh,
to
smashing.
Ginny Austin. So, Debs, thank you so much for being here this morning. It's been a real, honor to be with you along with this, this journey. I mean, that started with tragic events in your life, and now it's been turned around into something really helpful and positive for the expat community. So, thank you so much for doing what you're doing, and I wish you all the best with it, as I'm sure
Well,
everybody else does here.
I'm going to toast you with share a toast with you with a cup of tea
Yeah,
because it's a bit early for champagne.
yeah, people will start talking about us if we're drinking this time of the morning. But who knows what's in our cups? But virtual Eshgrimad, all the best and
All
congratulations,
right.
Deb.
Thank you, Carl. Take care.
And love to Terry as well and all the team. Sadly, we
Okay.
can't speak to Terry, but I'm sure we will at another time. So take care.
I'm
Bye for
sure.
now. Bon fin de
Bye,
semana. Ciao,
love. Bye
ciao, ciao.
bye now.
So there she goes. Deb's there. And let me just put the link on the screen again. Looks like we can come forward with help, I think, in all sorts of ways. Sharing Care Portugal, the Facebook group, link to it in the comments. And if you're struggling to get in touch with Debs, just get in touch with me via the Expats Portugal forum, or you know where I am on Facebook. Everywhere on social media. Very happy to help, obviously, with this project, and wish it all the best, of course, as I'm sure you all do. So let's have a quick look at the weather, and then we'll come back to your bon dias this morning, and we'll just take it easy, I think, for the rest of the show as we head towards. Got anything planned for the weekend? No. Okay, me neither. It's be like, what else can you find to do in the house at the moment, or in the little bit of garden you're allowed to go out into? Lisbon at the moment. Let's have a look. Yes, weekend weather. We still have a weekend nominally to look forward to. Let's see if that weather's changing, and I will put on the screen the weather screen for you so that we can see what's going on. We can all see that together. Let's have a look. Expatsportugal.com weather. Let me show you. I think that should be on your screen now. Let me just add it. There you go. All right, let's have a look through this together. Lisbon, 12 degrees and a few clouds at the moment. Look at that. It's going to be one of those wonderful sunny days in the capital today, according to the weather forecast anyway, with a lovely high of 17 degrees. 16 tomorrow, and then a few days of cloud, but rain-free. Mercifully, I think, in the capital until next Thursday, when it will be sunny again, rising to 18 degrees, which is fantastic. Porto, scattered clouds at the moment, 12 degrees, rain forecast today, but then a let up over the weekend. What great timing. And then the rain returns next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and a sunny day forecast for Thursday with a high of 15. Coimbra, scattered clouds and 13 at the moment. It's a nice and mild weather around at the moment. Look at that, rising to 20 on Sunday, and a rain-free weekend, which will be nice. It'll be nice to get out and potter in the garden, hang out with the new the lamb that's here, this beautiful lamb that was born in the last few days here on this quinta. But a rainy day today with a high of 17, but a sunny day promised next Thursday. So it looks like the spring is in the air towards the end of next week. Faro down there in the south, 12 degrees, clear sky, 17 in the high today with some rain. But again, a few days rain-free but cloudy, and the sun returning on Thursday. So that's good, isn't it? Some lovely sunshine to look forward to, and a rain-free weekend, it looks like, generally speaking. So let's say hello to a few of you this morning. Joel, who will be with us, of course, tonight on the Man Cave. Bon dia. to you, Joel, up there in Porto. Done your weather for you. I guess it's no surprise to say it's raining in Porto today. Bon dia, what a lovely idea for this morning. Cheers, Pete. Amazing. We give Debs there our wholehearted support. Hola a todos de la area. Bon dia, alegría en la area. And bon dia, alegría from Ernest as well. Very good. We're all getting into that habit. How are you doing, Doc? Are you nicely settled back in Leria? And from Joseph, who we heard from before, bon dia as well, over there in Funda. I'm sure he's getting very excited with spring in the air on his beautiful farm over there. Carolyn, bon dia from Moscow. Talking of whistling the theme tune earlier on as we were. No, I don't sing, but I do scream a lot. He's a really nice bloke, really. He's just come across as a bit grumpy, doesn't he? And there he is talking about his screaming. But he's a fabulous bloke, as you can find out on the Man Cave tonight from 10. From London, Nick Steinman's here. Bon dia to you as well, Nick. And let's have a look. Who else is here? Rizel, the Furtados are in the house, everybody. With our guests on Tuesday, talking about property, buying property in Portugal and their business that does that here on our Consumer Tuesday. And they're in the Cockerell's Coop talking about their business. You can find out more about what they do next Tuesday. And talking of next week, on Monday, Jana will be with me from Wow Wines, which is a service you can find out about at expatsportugal.com in our business directory. But they send a box of wine to you. You have to pay for it, but that's understandable. You get wine in the post of their excellent selection. And we'll be talking to John I'm just thinking, is it okay to taste wine at 9 a.m? I think so. And I've seen people in cafes here in Portugal having a cheeky aguardente or whatever. And for the purposes of research and tasting, should we go there at 9 o'clock on a Monday morning? I'm thinking maybe. It is a feel better sunny Friday here in Cabanas de Tavira with a forecast of no rain for the next 10 days. That's I think the Faro southern Portugal bragging rights have kicked in well and truly there with he's got a four-star sun rating there. Thank you, Paul, for that. Bon dia from Povoa de Vargem, representing the North. Mark, in his first few months up there in the North, how's it going? Anything to report back from the rather undiscovered and underestimated North, I think, Mark? Any reflections from you? Always good to hear from people about their discoveries, of course, here in Portugal, especially if you're just settling in, things you want to share with the expat community. Hank Stelica's here, everybody. Hola, bon dia, friends from a rainy California this evening in California, of course. It sounds like a much-needed service. Yes, indeed, Pete. We'll leave the contact details, of course, if you didn't catch them before, for Deb's new Share and Care Portugal project. And great. Thanks, Jerry, as well, for reaching out there. Really appreciate that. And it looks like we will be able to get a website together for Debs, doesn't it? And Gary is going to join me. Garvo from Alvagra is going to join me on the screen. I thought we might... have a bit of fun now on the show, and I'm actually going to take a risk and put the link to joining me on screen. I'm taking my professional life and reputation in my hands for what it's worth, as you know. There's the link, Gary, if you do want to come in and join me. I think I did say to Gary last night at the wine club, we had a really nice drink last night. We all had different bottles of wine, not the same one, which was kind of goes against the idea of a wine club, doesn't it, and tasting. But we all had Dow wines, and we had a lovely little party, a virtual party online. Do join us on Thursday evenings from 9. And I did suggest to Gary that we might just kick back in the latter part of today's show with a few jokes and a chat. So if you've got something to share with us, I think we do tend to specialize in dad jokes, don't we? And be careful, you lot. I know what you like. Keep them savory, I think, for this time of the morning. But then again, it is the evening in America. So I'm, like I say, taking my professional life and reputation in my hands by sharing the link to the show. Do join me on the screen if you wish to. Gary, I think, might do that in just a moment. Paul Richards, hi, guys. Hello from Harrogate, North Yorkshire. Had trouble watching last night's webinar, although I had a reserved seat. Sorry to hear that, Paul. Could not get in, asked for help. And had the same problem. So I'm really sorry to hear that. We will address that, Paul, and I will be working on the video of that. It was a very good session with Paul Correa from Fiduciary Wealth Management, our partners who help with pension planning and financial management, wealth management. And one really interesting part of the show last night with him, or the webinar with him last night, were his 3 predictions. for investment for 2021, which included, and I will post this up as a separate little mini program. He was talking about investing in gold at the moment. He was talking about investing in other metals because of the infrastructure boom around the world in China and America. And what was the other thing? Oh, yes, solar and renewables were his tips last night, which is a very exciting part of the webinar. And Paul adds it's -4 in Harrogate. From Esther Allerton, all the best for the launch of the much-needed service. I hope to help in any way I can. Thank you, Esther. That's for Debs, of course. Hope everyone, oh yes, of course, hope everyone has a lovely Valentine's Day this weekend, making a special cake for my Valentine, and then she just leaves that little air of mystery there. I don't know what else you've got planned. You don't have to say, Ree, but that sounds rather suggestive and splendid to me. -2 in the Kent strain. That's what that part of England, officially known as the Kent strain now. That sounds so British. Talking of Valentine's, I've got a little thing to play you from our friends at the Portuguese Kids. I think this is a very nice idea. If especially you fellas, if you're scratching your heads and wondering what to do for Valentine's Day, this service is available to you. Check this out.
Querida, this Valentine's Day, I want to let you know that you are my better half. It's true, I thank God every day that you just my type. For you and I together. I can't express how much you mean to me.
Book us for a personalized Valentine's message on Cameo.com or through the Cameo app.
There you go. How good is that? For you gentlemen, it might be you, Gary, who haven't sorted a present out yet. You could get that guy to record a Valentine's message for you. Did you enjoy that?
I've just noticed that guy laughs just like Frank. That's Frank's laugh, isn't it?
Well, yes, the cackle.
Yes, definitely.
That's why Frank fits in so well. Oh, careful with that espresso. I can't express how much I love you.
Good old tea.
We will be hearing Frank's cackle coming from many a Coimbrien's bar, I think, in due course. Good morning, Gary, in Alvagra. How are you this morning?
Good morning to you, sir. The sun has just broken through the clouds. That's got to be good. It's got to be good.
That's amazing. Gary, you might know, obviously, from the morning show, but me, Gary and Frank and Joel, of course, are the mainstays of the Man Cave, girding our loins already this early in the morning for our 10 o'clock stint tonight. Join us in the Man Cave for irreverent and puerile humour. But thanks to Gary, wisdom and reason as well, which is what he brings to the mix as well. Well, you are known as the voice of reason in the Man Cave, but this morning we're just sort of sharing a few dad jokes, I think. Did you have some material, so to speak, this morning, Gary?
You know I've always got something tucked away somewhere. I mean, I am the collector of old and hurt jokes that need loving care, an occasional walk in the sunshine. I think that's
a lovely way.
That's the way that
the old ones are the oldest, right?
Well, but you know, after a certain amount of time, the youngsters come along and they don't know them, so that's a double bonus, really.
That's fantastic to have a new audience laughing at your really ancient jokes that should really be in a museum and probably will be one day. They might be the Alvagra Museum of Dad Jokes. And I believe were you the first person to ever say when one of your children said, "I'm hungry," you said, "I'm Dad, pleased to meet you." That was you. You wrote that joke, didn't you?
I think my mum said that one to me, actually. If my memory serves me right.
It comes from the family anyway. Brilliant. So feel free to step in at any moment as we're saying hello to people. You might be as the Bob Monkhouse of our community.
Nobody could ever match Bob Monkhouse because he was the consummate professional.
Well, I think if we utter names like Bob Monkhouse, Larry Grayson, Benny Hill, you get the generation we come from, and you might be reminded, Monty Python, even if you want to pop a joke into the comments, if you're stimulated by those sort of memories, do. Penny says, "I'm still working from home, so never short of things to do. I'm going to try to get a semblance of order in my studio. I might even get some jewelry made over the weekend. The garden also beckons, but not in this weather. Lol." Ree will be enjoying the 82-degree weather. That is hot, isn't it? Sun is coming out in CDP as well. Look at this. We brought the sun out, everybody. the Shanfana, goat in red wine. Gary's thinking, has he got a goat joke? Is giving off beautiful aromas from the bread oven where it cooked overnight, almost ready for distribution in the village. That's beautiful, isn't it? Thank you, Carl, says the dog. Yes, I'm well settled, just catching up. Hank Stelica, 9 a.m. is 9 p.m. on the other side of the world. Sounds workable to me. Okay, so you're encouraging me to drink at 9 a.m. on Monday morning with the wine lady, as we're calling her at the moment. What's this? Bagasso in the morning with the morning coffee. It's just like a British breakfast with bacon and eggs. It's a pick-me-up in the winter days. Bagasso, okay. Have you known that, Gary?
Not Bagasso, is it? Unless it's like a Chirino, is it, that goes with your coffee? Just a bit of a spirit or something, maybe.
Okay, precisely. So, in the way that you might have a fry-up, like a dirty fry-up in the UK, you just have a simple shot of Bagasso to lift your spirits in Portugal. He's settling in quite well, says Mark. Still sorting out the car, and also hope to receive my temporary Portuguese driving license. Looking forward to when that is sorted and spring kicks in, so I can explore some of the other excellent towns and cities of northern Portugal, as well as the Gerês National Park. I think that's a predictive text error, which I've translated. Gerês National Park. I think he's talking about there. So, what you got then, Gary? A dad joke du jour.
Well, I don't know really. I just had a kind of sort man in my mind. I was just listening to Deby, just kind of paying homage to her. What a wonderful lady.
Absolutely.
And both you and I have been through quite sort of grief-stricken times lately, and it can't last forever, can it? And some sort of a semblance of order must come back. And instead of feeling sorry, you start to remember the funny things in life, and the good things about the people that you've lost, the ridiculous things.
Yes.
And if Debbie's going to set up that service, all well and good. It's got to be a good thing to help people through them difficult times, especially in this country where you're not a native speaker. And my strategy with these sort of things, as always, is humour. It always has been survival humour, and working with the military. It just kind of puts a pencil tip on that, because these guys go through who knows what, and the only thing they can do is survive is humour, which makes life more bearable. So this is probably where I picked a lot of these jokes up from, to be honest. Most of them I can't reference on this daytime slot. But
I'm really worried now. If you like telling the jokes from military men, that is really quite. I guess you've softened it up a bit or toned it down a bit from the original.
Oh yeah. I've gone to the kiddie drawer now. I'm just going to go and get some from the childish ones, right? So one of my favourite ones to tell is the snail joke, right? Because I get to do the snail, right? I can't promise it'll be funny, but I like doing the snail because it makes me laugh. So basically, right, there's a posh restaurant, and the maitre d' standing there looking out the window, cleaning the glasses, and along the road he sees a snail coming along the path like this. And the snail. And he comes into the restaurant and says to the maitre d', he said, It's me and the missus's anniversary at the weekend. Is there any chance of booking a table? And the maitre d' looks at him and says, Certainly not. He said, We don't serve your sort in here. Picks the snail up and throws him as far as he can. Anyway, 2 weeks later, the maitre d' stand there cleaning the glasses again. Who comes along? The snail.
Not too fast. Not too fast.
And the snail says, What did you do that for?
Very good. Oh, excellent. I can't change this back now on the screen. I'm going to stay this small next to you. But that snail impersonation is really very strong. And I think if they start doing pantomimes in the Algarve, you might be invited down there to be and Alvagra Galvo as the snail in Mother Goose or something like that. Ah, superb. Thank you very much. Let's do a few more comments. I'm sure he's got more up his sleeve. Doesn't need a lot of encouragement. And he's not even, as far as I know, he's not been drinking. Wonder what cuts of goat Peter uses to make his shanfana. Apologies to my veggie friends. I think we'll find out. That's hilarious. I'm not sure what that's referring to, because I think that came in before the joke, unless she's a psychic, of course. And that was a good prediction. Sharing Care Portugal. Oh, hi, Debs is still with us. That's great. And the comments is also available. Yes, of course. Holiday Makers. Thanks for your comments and support. Love from Debs there. Gary, love the beard. I think it's a good look. It is lockdown, isn't it? We're both a bit.
It makes him look a bit sort of desperate, doesn't it? And a bit sort of like I've been locked up for a while, which I have, really.
I think it's quite a sexy sort of rugged look. I think this is this Sister Ginny?
It's my sister-in-law, Ginny.
Sister-in-law Ginny.
That's Terence's wife.
Good morning to you. Good morning to the whole Austin household over there in San Martino de Porto this morning. I really like braised beef. Never tried goat braised in wine. Does it fall apart like braised beef? I imagine it does. Have you had a shanfana, Gary?
No, I haven't. I'd really love to try one. Something to look forward to when I'm, out and about.
Indeed. Pete saying he looked like a young Garvo. An early riser in Albuquerque.
Oh, good old Pete.
Dad jokes on a Friday morning. Are they starting to come in? Morning, Gary, from Ginny there. Here we go. She's running the gauntlet past you and me, Gary. From Hannah Downing, I think in London at the moment. It's a little fruity. Oh, I say. I should have read it first, but I'm going to go for it. 2 ladies, after a night out, had to stop in a graveyard for a pee. One had to, oh, gosh. Sorry if you're having your breakfast. And we're all grown-ups here, okay? If you're easily offended, it might be best to go and watch something else right now. One had to use her knickers to wipe. The other used a wreath. When the first woman came home with her pants, her husband phoned his friend and said, What went on? My wife came home without any knickers on. The other said, well, mine came home holding a card that said, thank you for all you've done, from all the boys at the fire station. That is awful, Hannah, but funny too. How about bad puns, Gary? Oh, my goodness, we can do those, can't we?
Do those in our sleep, can't we? We do them on the man cave every Friday.
We do those in our sleep. And our wives probably just wake up with a start. Like, what's wrong with... Oh, he's just doing puns in his sleep again. There are worse things to do in your sleep. Why was 6 afraid of 7? We'll leave that hanging there for a moment. Bon dia todos. Carl, where do I find the weather on the Expats Portugal website? I tried a few times. I'm feeling like a fool. No, it's me that's the fool, because I talk about the expatsportugal.com weather, and it's not actually on the website. I'm so sorry. I don't know how many hours you've spent doing that, Johnny. I'll buy you a drink when you get here. But it's a separate page, but we actually be a really good thing to include on there. So another note to Jerry this morning. Okay, so why was 6 afraid of 7? I'm sure you know the answer to this, right, Gary?
I'm not going to spoil his joke.
But this is a twist on it, because 7 is a well-known 6 offender.
Oh, yes. Oh, God, yes. A twist on it. Thought it was 7, 8, 9.
Yes, it's 7, 8, 9, of course. Susan, morning, Gary. Nice to put a face to the name.
Morning, Susan.
Dublin, I think we've got to get you on again for this. So I think you do need to go back to the joke books and the joke museum or whatever. Joke archaeology. And we should do this from time to time again. Dublin is not snowing today, but freezing. Make soup. What else to do? You'll fit in just nicely in Portugal. Was that a surprise to you, Gary, that soup comes with everything? Even if you probably order an aguardente in the morning or a bagaço, you probably get soup with that, don't you, in a Portuguese cafe?
It did kind of surprise me that you get it sort of for breakfast. I think soup for breakfast is an alien concept for me. But hey, it's good hearty stuff, so why not, I suppose?
Yes. Chicken soup for the soul. Gary, I so agree with you. Humour and laughter is the best medicine, from Deby Doos herself there. Thanks, Debs. The M1 walks into a pub, orders a pint, smashing the whole place up. Barman says, fine. Then the A1 smashes the pub up and orders a pint. No problem for the barman. I think that can't be the whole joke, right? I love how people are doing the joke and then the punchline, a different comment. That's really classy. And then a small path crashes into the pub, orders a pint, and the barman says, "I'm not serving you." Okay, the path asks why, and he says, "I'm not serving you. You're a blooming psychopath." front leg, back leg, and I thought this was a joke. This is the
I thought
cut.
it was.
Yes, a front leg, a back leg, and some ribs go into a pub, and all get cut up into 4-inch chunks. Supplied by a local butcher in Castellano de Pera, who gets them from up the valley in Coentrell. Okay, and yes, it does fall apart after 12 hours in the oven. Amazing. I think there's some laughter there for your joke, Gary. Chanfana is one of the most well-known dishes here in the Serra de Luzon. Many places serving it year round. Most famous. You see, there's another great Portuguese thing. If it exists in Portugal, there will be a museum for it, right? You've got a great museum in Alvázar, haven't you?
Well, we're working on it, aren't we? And it seems we're going to have part of it devoted to old humour.
Who can we
I'll
get?
put that by the dartboard, shall I?
Yes. Who could we get? Who do you think we should have to open it? Because obviously a lot of our favourite comedians from the era we grew up in are no longer with us. But it would be great, wouldn't it, to bring somebody over, one of the greats of comedy, to open up the new old joke wing of the Alvázar Museum. So that comes from the Musée de Chanfana, a goat stew museum in Miranda de Corvo. Who knew? I once debated, actually, on that subject. When you've been to America, you were talking yesterday, weren't you? About it was Australia. You globetrotter.
I've been to.
I know you've been. And when you're in America, you're driving down a road and you'll see a massive golf ball, and you'll know that you're entering the town that has the golf ball attraction, or the biggest ball of rubber bands, or something like that. But they don't do that in Portugal, do they? You kind of have to really search for these things. But if it catches on, there could be a massive goat stew pot by the road to alert you to the fact. I think as well. It's so many wonderful museums.
Not with like a couple of legs sticking out the top of the pot or something. Just
horns.
That might look a bit demonic, then, mightn't it?
Yes, actually, people might not go to that town anymore. Maybe that's why they don't do it. I once debated a flat earther. He got so mad he stormed off, saying he would walk to the edge of the earth to prove me wrong. Thank you, Hank. Where are my sound effects? Where are my mwah, mwah, mwah? Although, look, he'll come round eventually. Yay! From Jerry, my father's favourite Christmas joke. Right, that's the turkey stuffed. Now we just need to kill it. Aren't those the best? That are coming out at a certain time of the year, every year, regardless.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You can read this oldie but goodie out, Gary.
Why is Yoda afraid of 7? Because 6, 7, 8.
I don't get it. I don't get it. Do you?
No. It must be above my reasoning power.
Or Star Wars. It's a Star Wars special joke in it. So Joel definitely got that. I knew Les Dawson and is that Max Miller? I think they helped me when I did my parachute jump and wing walk on a tiger moth plane for charity. Great guys! Wow, is it Mike Miller or Max? Probably Mike Miller. Then
is it Max Miller? Max Miller.
Jerry's talking about his father's. I've got a Max Miller joke from my dad, which I'd love to tell after your next bit of material, Gary. Go on.
What was the other one? The chip shop joke.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a brummy joke, I suppose, this one. It probably translated from somebody else, but it's probably the first joke I ever told Dale, my son, and he uses it quite frequently. So anyway, I'm sitting there the other night, and I bought this pie and chips from the chip shop, and when I bit into the pie, there was a worm. I thought, I'm not having that. So I went back to the chip shop. I said, "Hey, mate," I said, "there's a worm in this pie." So he looked in the pie, said, "That's not a worm, it's fat." I said, "Of course it's fat, it's ate all the meat."
That's part of a routine, isn't it? Where you just keep them coming. That was the great thing about Bob Monkhouse, wasn't it? You don't have time to recover, do you, from those great comedians? They're just coming at you with another.
It'd becoming insane. A white horse goes into a bar, and the barman said, "Here, we've got a whiskey named after you." And the horse said, "You've got a whiskey named Eric?"
And then another one, and then another, and this is like with what's his name, Ken Dodd. The people hated the people who worked in theatres hated having him there because he wouldn't stop. And he
It's
just
just a machine.
going. I know they want to shut the place down. And he's still going on at midnight. Well, the crowd are loving it. Incredible. Oh, this is a good looking one. Why don't Italians do bondage? We're waiting for that. Doctor, I think I might have hereditary. This is doing the rounds like a bacterial infection, this joke, but I do love it. Doctor, I think I might have hereditary diarrhea. Doctor replies, diarrhea is not hereditary. Well, it's in my genes. Very good, John. Thank you for that. Sorry if you're having your breakfast. It took me a while to get it to when I first heard it. It's clever. I wish I came up with it. So we still don't know that Yoda joke, do we? Because and I don't think Joel gets it either. A Star Wars aficionado.
If Joel don't get it, we've had it. We don't stand a chance, do we?
Exactly. So it is Debs. It is Mike Miller and Les Dawson. The Max Miller joke, and we'll come back to why Italians don't do bondage. And a very good to you from your fellow Brum there, the doc. One of the really great things I think about the old school humour guys is that they tell some really edgy jokes. And this is a joke my dad took my mum and his mother. So wife and mother were taken to a Max Miller concert. And you can sort of anticipate that, can't you? And one of the jokes was, this is as my dad told it, Max Miller's out walking on a mountain, and it's a very thin path that he's coming down. And this is going into Terry Wogan territory as well, which many of us here love Terry's style of humour from back in the day. There's Max Miller walking along a mountain path, and a beautiful woman is coming the other way on the path. And it's a very narrow path, and he didn't know whether to block her passage or toss himself off. And this was the sort of joke got told in families. This is panto humor, isn't it? That works on many levels. You can say that in front of kids, can't you? Whilst dad is spitting his drink and mum is punching him in the arm. That's the scenario there, isn't it? So
that's the skill.
That's the skill. Why don't Italians do bondage, Gary? Do you know?
I have no idea, but I'd like to find out.
Because they can't say the safe word while they're wearing handcuffs. I don't get it. but I want to laugh anyway. Penny, she's Italian. She definitely gets that. I was going to say, and I can see her in handcuffs. I shouldn't say things like that. I reckon that joke was about Yoda's work. Yes, let's try that again with that explanation. Okay, so why is Yoda afraid of 7?
Because 6, 7.
Because 6, 7, 8. Yeah, you've got to do it in the Yoda style, haven't you? Because 6, 7, 8. Because it's based on the old joke, but Yoda always turns the sentence around. That is really very clever. I'm sorry, I didn't. Yeah,
do it now.
Ow. A while to get it to when I first. It's clever. It is. That is a genius joke. It's all about the delivery, isn't it, and the timing. Okay. I reckon that joke was about Yoda's word. Yeah, thanks for explaining that to us, Mark. A man came up to me and said, "Man, your clothes look gay." I know they came out of the closet this morning. That's sure to offend somebody. But thanks, Hank. One more Shanfana fact. I'm loving this. We're mixing up the dad jokes with the goat recipes. One more Shanfana fact. In Villanova de Polaris, they have an annual festival organised by the Confraria, the Brotherhood. Wow, there's another sort of Italian reference, who wear special robes. I think we should go along to that one year. Easier if you hear the Yoda joke. Okay. All right. Thank you for that, Doc. Yes, and Hank together there. It's called Tongue in Cheek, Carl. Bit like Carry On scripts. Absolutely. Carry on the buses. We love those things. Get that bus out of here. Ain't it marvellous? A horse is coming in a bar, and the barman says, "Hey." The horse asks, "How do you know what I want?" Very good. That's the Christmas cracker end of things, I think. There, Jenny from Belgium.
Of course, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, again, it's thinking about it, isn't it? It's thinking about it.
So let's do that again with that visual in mind. Why don't Italians do bondage? Because they can't say the safe word while they're wearing
It's a safe word, eh?
A word. Because we can't leave here until we understand all the jokes. Thank you, Caroline. Are we lucky to have these really intelligent people with us, Gary, working these jokes?
Somebody's got to put some quality into it, isn't they?
Italian, yes, okay. Italian speak with that. People are at home are going, oh my, and lol, because yes, okay, we got it now. Well done, Mark, Andy the doc. Okay, my favourite. This is going to be horrible, I'm sure. My favourite was observing a teacher. Honestly, a girl put her hand up and said, "Miss, I have a headache," and she replied dryly, "I wish your mother had had one." That's from a teacher who's been teaching for 30 or 40 years, isn't it? I think. Lol, Pete from the doc there, and doctors, they'll have some great jokes. Come on, doc, let's hear one from you, a medicine joke. What's the difference between oh dear, we're going. should we do this? Do you remember the trouble they got in on Top Gear with
Absolutely.
Oh no, Joel, let's see here. The difference between an Alan Tajano and a Mexican. The time zone. Oh no, let's move on quickly. Yikes. Okay, lol, Pete. All right, let's go. Can we go to you for a final one then? Garvo in Alvagra.
Yeah, okay. How's about a Canadian joke for our Frank? One especially for him.
Yes.
Well, there's this guy, right? And he's an author, and he's looking for his next book. And it's around Christmas time, so he decides to take himself off to the wilds of Canada to get a bit of focus. And he's sitting there at his typewriter typing away, and all of a sudden there's a knock on the door. And he opens the door, and there's this enormous guy who's filling the door frame like a bear. And the big guy turns around and said, "Howdy, neighbour." He said, "I'd just like to ask you over for the Christmas party." He said, "There's not many people around here." He said, "Okay." He said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, I must warn you." He said, "Though it might get a bit wild." He said, "There might be a bit of singing." Author says, "Fine, I can do that." He said, "Probably lots of heavy drinking." He goes, "Okay, I can do that." And he said, "There may be a bit of fighting." He thinks, and he said, "And then there's the kinky sex." And he goes, "Okay, book me in." Like he said, "Fine." So the big guy walks off down the path, and the author said, I'll be over at about 8 o'clock." And the big fella says, "Okay." He said, "Hey," he said, "who else is coming?" And the big fella says, "Nobody around here for 40 miles but me and you, mister."
Is that a bit like El Viagra? Oh, everybody, Gary, thank you so much. I hope you'll come back again. And on that note, let's play out with the marvellous ending ident of Pete. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bon fin de semana. Ciao, ciao. And we'll see you tonight for more of this sort of stuff. Any jokes I haven't read out, we'll carry them forward to the Man Cave tonight at 10 o'clock. Take care. Bye for now. Ciao, ciao.